Hello, fellow young ones. Okay, that was cheesy. And it was cheesy when Stephus Kimmy did it and was turned into a gift for doing something like that. But I'm still going to talk about skateboarding in 720 degrees for the Commodore 64. RetroKork. 720 degrees, or 720, originally was an arcade game by Atari in 1986. In it, you're a kid with $100 and a skateboard in a skate park or skate city where you can and need to do 4 different kinds of events, because otherwise you'll die. Yeah, unlike in Skate or Die, where you're pretty much alive the whole game, this game goes skate or die on your butt. And there is the need to go for loose change and, buying things that may aid you. Oh, and you need to visit every park within the game, every event in the game, and they cost you a ticket each time you go there. So you need to have a decent enough result to beat the event to get more tickets, which you need to spend on parts, because if you don't get out of the central hub within a very short period of time, you're toast. Now, this game was ported from the arcade version to the Commodore 64. It was ported twice. Europe, with a version released by publisher US Gold in 1987, and from what I could gather on the internet, the US version, which had some improved graphics but lesser music, was released in 1988 by allegedly Mindscape, and it was a Tengen work. Those of you who know of Tengen well, you probably shudder slightly because Tengen is pretty much known for being underwhelming in the results. So the footage and certain aspects of the game are going to be based on the European version, on which I'm going to focus. And I'll try talking about gameplay in really, really broad terms. Well, I pretty much already covered the basic idea of the game, and, well, the gameplay is, well, it's the gameplay. It's a bit stiff, I find. But, yeah, in the hub world, you have 4 stores and a map mode, basically. But in the stores you can buy upgrades for your character and deck. Plus on the hub world you encounter other occupants and some hazards, like a water hazard that you can jump over. Only the killer bees are deadly though, and they arrive until after about a minute before that you haven't been in a trial or event. Now, the trials or events or parks or what have you, they are as follows. In ramp, you deal with a half-pipe kind of contraption in which you work on getting more and more air, getting higher and higher in your jumps under the constant pressure of time. The higher you get, the better your points, the more likely you get a new ticket. There's downhill, in which you have to follow a sometimes pretty windy road, a winding path down a hill, and you're being timed. The faster you are, the more points you get, the closer you are to a new ticket. Slalom has you go through yellow flag gates that give you a little bit more time while you race the clock to the finish line. And finally there's jump, where you try to hit targets without seeing them beforehand. by jumping off ramps. Now you get a bit of help in the ramp itself. Yeah. Now rinse and repeat, and well, you got the game down. Now the game doesn't offer a lot of depth, but that's to be expected. I mean, it's an arcade game, and those usually didn't shine with storytelling. Okay, the game doesn't offer a lot of depth, but it doesn't have to. It's not a story-driven game. It has a very, very simple narrative, namely that, okay, you go, skate, otherwise you dead. But that's even in the arcade version, so you can't really fault the conversion for it. Now, the music in the US Gold release, the European release, it is pretty great, done by Ben Daglish, who has done quite a good number of conversions of tunes and has been very good at writing original tunes. The sound effects, however, well, they're just so. But if you like arcadey games about skateboarding, well, give 720 Degrees a spin, and if you don't, well, maybe just give it a minute or two to try to win you over. Just avoid the bees. The next episode, well, some people might go about it sometimes saying, ooh, nasty. And if you got that reference, well, you already know that I'm going to talk about Nightmare for the Commodore 64. And if you didn't get that, well, now you know.